What is up, guys, and welcome down to Craig Sower Golf. I'm Craig Sower, and today I have another review for you. So what I've got here is I've got my hands on the brand new Mizuno CLK Hybrid. It's an adjustable hybrid, which I really like. I've got this in 19 degrees. I'm going to test it in 19 degrees, but the quick switch adapter does allow you to go up 2 degrees or down 2 degrees, or even put it in upright if you need to do so. Though I would suggest that you don't mess around with that upright setting unless you're a fitter. So I'm going to go through what this club has to offer in terms of specs and technology to help you. Then we're going to hit a few balls on the indoor sim to get some data. We're going to go through that data, and we are also going to test this out on the golf course, put it in some gaming situations and see how it plays out there. But it's a gorgeous looking hybrid and one that I am really looking forward to playing. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So the first thing you'll notice with this hybrid is you've got a Wave Technology sole. That is designed to give you faster ball speeds, especially off sort of bottom groove hits, helping launch that ball a little bit higher. But Mizuno say without spinning high as well. So they don't want it to launch high and spin high like a wood or something like that. They want it to launch high and sort of a lower spinning club. So it sits easier between the long iron and the woods. And going into that, they've designed the hosel and where the shaft comes in to amplify that. So it's not quite a wood hosel like you get with most hybrids, but it's not quite, you know, an offset sort of iron, long iron that you get with the long irons. It's somewhere in between that, and they're saying that that is designed so that you can work the ball a little bit easier. It's not going to literally launch it miles up in the air no matter what you do. They are saying that you can work with the ball flight with this hybrid, knock it down if you need to, but it also gives you that launch. So this hybrid does come in a different heads as well. You have a 5, 4, 3 and 2, which actually all have slightly different profiles. The 2 is bigger, bulkier, has got more behind the ball, a little bit more like a wood, and the 5 is slightly narrower and more iron looking. And with their adjustable quick adapter hosel, you actually have 32 different possibilities when setting up this club. So that's enough talking, let me go see how this plays. So guys, that is a little bit about what you're getting with the Mizuno and how that tech is going to help you. What we're going to do now is I'm going to hit a few shots on, grab some data, and then we're going to head out onto the course and see how it performs out there. But first things first, I've got this in the Speeder Evolution HB Stiff Flex shaft. Really nice shaft. Mizuno supply really great shafts with all of their clubs actually, and it doesn't change in this hybrid. Looking at it, it's a really nice looking hybrid actually. I always find that I'm not a great lover of the look of hybrids, but I definitely think that this is a step up from their last sort of blue looking. Wasn't a fan of the blue. And I think that sometimes they look a bit big. And looking down on the top, I think this looks a bit big for my eye. But when you sit it down by the ball, that sort of matte brushed sort of steel grey, I don't know what colour you call it, definitely slims it down a little bit, and it's not too big. It's still quite big. There are obviously smaller ones out there, but if you like the look of hybrid, then this is probably going to be one of the best looking hybrids for you if you like that little bit of extra behind the ball. What I am going to do, guys, is I have this in 19 degrees, and I have also the MP18 MMC Fly High 3-iron in 19 degrees as well. So there will be a sort of comparison video coming out soon on my channel, so don't forget to check that out as well. Perfect segue into saying subscribe if you haven't already, guys, so you don't miss any more of my content. This is YouTube, so it wouldn't be a video without me saying that. So I'm going to hit sort of 5 shots, see how it plays, see how it feels, and sort of what distance we're getting on. I've got the green at about 115, at 215 yards away. And like I said, great looking club, sort of sleek, definitely looking. I'm glad they got rid of the blue. And that was toey, but felt really nice actually. It's quite a sort of it's a fairly shallow face, not overly deep, gives you confidence behind the ball. That didn't perform too badly considering it was a very towed strike. Distance-wise, not bad drop-off considering. So I'm going to hit a couple more and then we're going to have a look at the numbers in a minute. There's 5 shots hit with the hybrid, a couple of towy ones out there that drew a little bit more, but nice feeling hybrid. I would be more than happy to play with this. So let's take a closer look at those numbers. Right guys, so if we have a quick look at the numbers, I hit 5 shots, fairly decent ones. You can see in fact the first one I actually caught a little bit on the bottom of the club, so a little bit sort of low groovy, but with that sort of wave technology, hopefully it will help that a little bit. You can see it was a little bit low, so peak height was 25 rather than sort of hovering around the 29 where the rest of them were. So that is why, and again low spinning as well. But if you have a look at the carry distance, it didn't drop off too far. I mean, I was averaged 201 and that was only 191, so 10 yards loss on a really bad strike isn't too bad. And the last one I caught flush, like really flush, and again you'll see that the spin was the lowest, well, was fairly low, highest ball speed and longest carry as well. 20 yards between sort of my worst hit and best hit, which isn't too bad, which is what the hybrid is designed for, you know, give you that little bit of extra forgiveness. Do that with a longer iron, the differential might be a little bit more. But generally, numbers are good. Sort of average we'll look at here. Ball speed's good. It does, you know, that bottom strike dropped it down a little bit, but, you know, sitting around the 5,000 mark is probably where that's going to sit if we take out those 2 big variations. Peak in height, nice and high, you know, 29. It's going to be pushing that 29, like I said, about 30 if you take that first one out again, which is what you want from a hybrid. Nice high ball flight, but not ridiculously high. Carry is good, averaging around 200 yards, which is where I'd want that hybrid to sit at 19 degrees. Sort of with my 3 iron, I can push it, you know, get that 210 if I need to. So the numbers are perfect, what I'd expect from a hybrid. It's not going too far, it's not spinning too ridiculously low. You've got that control. You can get a little bit more out of it if you need to, which is one thing that I prefer over a hybrid. I feel I can get that extra yardage when I need to rather than a long iron. If I'm pushing with a long iron, it's sometimes hard to get that extra yardage because the strike has to be so good. So what we're going to do now is we're going to jump out to the course, we're going to put it in a few gaming situations, see how it plays on the course, out of the rough, off the fairway, stuff like that, and see how those numbers relate to the real world. I'm out here, guys, at Wickham Heights Golf Course. I've jumped on to the 3rd tee here. Now it's a par 4 dogleg, goes down to the right. So the first challenge for the hybrid is a sort of a safe, controlled tee shot, basically. I want to go up towards the marker post, sort of along the line of the trees with a little fade. If I was to hit driver here, I could possibly run out of fairway at the end, especially with the wind in the direction. It's sort of off my left shoulder there, heading down. So it's helping me on this hole. This could be a really nice sort of go-to club when you need to keep it in the fairway. You know, 200, 240, depending on what loft you had, it'd be really good. So down there with a little fade. Didn't quite fade, played pretty much straight. But because I hit the hybrid, it's not going to go too far, and that should be perfect in the middle of the fairway. Nice sound with this. Something I found playing a few holes with it, it's not too, it's quite a solid thud, if you know what I mean. It's not, you know, clippy like a wood. It sounds more like an iron, which I really like, in fact. Right, now it's time to really test this golf club. So, in the rough now. I'm on the 5th hole here, which is a par 5 as well, and I've got myself a good 220, 230 yards away. Now I'm in the rough and I'm sitting down a little bit. You might just be able to see the golf ball there. If I had to play a long iron out of here, I wouldn't have much hope. The longest I probably want to take out of here is 6 iron, maybe a 5, but probably a 6 to be sure. But I'm quite happy hitting this golf club, hitting hybrids out generally. Even if, you know, I don't make great contact, it's going to be a better shot. I'm going to have a better outcome than I did if I used a long iron. So I'm going to play it down there, see if we can draw it, sort of chase it down there. Sort of a low runner would be good, which is what I'm going to get out of this rough. It's going to drop the spin down. And like they say, this sort of hybrid, you are supposed to knock it down a little bit. So there's a little tree down there. I'm just going to go down there with a little draw. And that has worked out perfectly. We'll check that. That could be up on the green. Made good contact with a tiny little bit bottomy, but it still came out nice. Got a little bit of height on it, enough to get it going and rolling, get it forwards. Really solid contact. So just walking up to the green here, and I don't know if you can see it yet, but my ball is back there. So rolled up the front here, rolled all the way through to the back, which I will take from a good sort of 220 to 30 yards out of the rough. Hybrid, sort of got the ball up in the air, but not too high, didn't pop it up amazingly high. Got it at a good flight, rolled it in there, and it's rolled through to the back. And now I've got, you know, chip for eagle, hopefully a putt for birdie. So the hybrid works really well. I really like this hybrid, looks good, sounds good, and it pretty much does everything you'd want it to. We're going to give it one more test, see if we can sort of control that distance, in case we don't have, you know, to hit it full out, if it can hit that 190 shot or so, and just see if we can control the ball flight a little bit more. But so far, so good. The last little challenge for the hybrid, guys. I'm on the 7th hole. I've got about 175, 180, wind into, slightly off the right. I'm going to have to hit like a little control-y fade into the wind. Hopefully it'll keep it straight. Won't be a whole hybrid. I'm going to grip down, see how well this works in a gaming situation, you know, not just hitting full shots on the range. So we're going to start it down the left a little bit, little fade. I'm going to grip down. So hold it up into the wind and see if I can hit a little controlled fade in there. Perfect. Came up a little bit short, I think. Didn't quite catch all of it. A little bit high. But I feel that this club is fairly easy to control distance-wise. Had a little play with it while playing today, and it doesn't just fly off the face with no control. It's quite nice. So guys, that is my review of the Cleek hybrid from Mizuno. A really nice hybrid from Mizuno. Definitely don't count it out when you're going to check out clubs. Don't think they just make good irons. Their woods are slowly catching up with their irons as well. So guys, thank you very much for checking out the channel. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you don't already, and I will catch you next time.